coffee just makes me feel unwell. Yep, even decaf if I drink too much of it. Why? I don't actually really know. And just doing one simple, quick internet search, it brings up a whole list of possible reasons. All I know is that, oh gosh, I love a nice cup of hot coffee, especially on cold mornings, and that smell, the smell that just wafts through the kitchen. At least I can still enjoy the smell, I suppose. Of course, there's always tea. And don't get me wrong, I do enjoy a nice cup of piping hot tea. And if you've been watching any of my videos for any length of time, I'm sure that you've seen me with a tea in hand. But there's just something truly comforting about a nice piping hot cup of coffee. Actually, if you happen to be new here, I'm Kylie, a 50-something gal exploring the next stage of my life. And I share all sorts of things as they pop up in my life, from clothing, beauty, health, wellness, fitness, just anything that pops up into my world. And as I explore that going forward into the next chapter of my life, I also share more about growing my small home-based business. So if you too are redefining what life looks like for you in these middle years, let's hang out. Hit that subscribe button and we can explore together. I've come to realise that it's actually more the ritual of the coffee. You know what I'm talking about? That moment, my brain is quiet, my body is still, my hands are wrapped around my warm cup, and the smell. Did we talk about the smell already? And so I want to see if I can recreate that with a coffee alternative. Can I evoke the same feelings and the same emotions with something that actually isn't coffee? So I went searching for an alternative, and I've come up with 4 possible options. And there is heaps out there, and I could spend a year testing and trialing all these different products. But for right now, I've come up with 4 that I'm going to put through the test of my, can I recreate the coffee experience with one of these products? My plan is to spend the next 4 weeks testing and trialing each one of these. So the aim is that I will have at least 1 cup a day for 5 days straight before I open the next packet and try something else. I'm prepared to give it a real go. I'm not just going to have 1 cup and go, oh, disgusting, put that back on the shelf, not for me. I think that sometimes our taste buds get so used to certain products that we do need to really give things a good solid go. So a minimum of 5 cups is what I'm planning over a period of a week. And then I'm going to rate and review each one of them based on a certain criteria. And just to be clear, I did actually purchase each one of these products with my cold hard cash. So let's take a really quick look at the 4 that I've chosen. I think I'll go a little bit more in depth throughout the week with each product. So I have a turmeric latte, some matcha, ceremonial cacao, and this guy. This one, I really can't wait to test out and try, but I'm going to leave him until the end. This one, not coffee, and I fell for it. This is a social media purchase, 100% for sure. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the one that I'm least excited about, and we'll work our way up, hopefully, from there. None of these are really about the brand. I didn't choose a particular brand for any particular reason. It was more about the product itself, but we will talk all about that as we get into it. So let's get that kettle boiling and we'll try our first cup of hopefully a delicious, emotion-filled coffee alternative. So as far as I'm aware, green tea really should just be made with hot water and nothing else. I think Starbucks and the like, you can get a whole lot of concoctions today, but I'm trying to keep it relatively true to form. However, I'm not just a pure hot water drinking type of gal. So I did, as you saw, put a little dash of milk in mine, and we're going to give that a go. Oh, it's hot. It's green tea. It's subtle. I didn't use a massive teaspoonful, but we'll enjoy this one, and every day for the next 5 days, here's to our cup of matcha. I'm just about at the end of this first cup. If you have a look, a lot of it is not dissolved at all. There's a whole lot of powder, it's really powdery now, left at the bottom. And I have stirred it twice whilst drinking this. So that's not really a great start. The flavour's actually pretty good. With a little bit of milk, I quite enjoyed this. But we'll keep going. So that's cup 1 down of finding an amazing coffee alternative. Wish me luck. It's day 5 of having my cup of matcha every day and coming back to share with you my thoughts and feelings. So remember at the beginning, I'm looking to replace a cup of coffee in the morning, and it just needs to give me that that a nice cup of coffee provides. And I know you know what I mean. If you're not a coffee drinker, if you are a tea drinker or something else and you get that same feeling from your drink, you still know what I mean. So I'm on the hunt for that. So I have a bit of a criteria that I've put together for when I'm testing these out, and I'm going to rate them on flavour, dissolvability, ease of use, price, what type of emotion does it evoke when I drink the cup, and then of course ease of purchase. As you can see straight away with this, we're going to have an issue with one of them straight up. And I have already explained that in previous days anyway. So first up, let's go with the actual flavour of matcha. So yes, of course, it is green tea. It has a green tea flavour, but it's actually really quite delicious. I like that you can have it as subtle as you want, or you can just add more matcha powder and make it stronger. You can sweeten it and, you know, add a creamer or milk or any type of milk of your choice, whichever way you want to use it. Have it warm, have it cold. So I like that there's all those different varieties that, you know, you can use this with. So on flavour alone, it's a 3-star for me. All right, category number 2, dissolvability. We're not off to a great start. So I hope the rest of what I've chosen to try does a better job at this. Now I do need to point out, it's not grainy at all. You don't get any gritty grain when you're drinking. Initially you think, wow, this dissolves perfectly. But if you're a slow cup drinker, slowly it will start to settle in the bottom of the mug. This is one of the reasons why I chose these glass ones, so that I could actually see that. And by the time you get to the bottom, then yes, you have got that last bit of grainy powder sitting in the bottom. Does it affect the overall experience of drinking? not until you get to the end of the cup. So if you're someone that likes to take that last sip and want to finish your cup of coffee or whatever it is that you're drinking, this probably will be an issue for you. And so for me, for overall on this category, I give it 2 stars. For ease of use, this is as simple as making any cup of tea. It can be as involved as you want it to be. So ease of use, 4 stars. For price, I paid around $20 for that 80-gram bag. It is organic. So $20 seems a little steep at the price of the bag, but there are 20 servings, so that comes out at around $1 per serving. So for price, I give this a solid 3 stars. What about the all-important emotions? Did it give me the feeling that I was looking for? I think that it could. I have to admit, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I wasn't expecting what I got when I tested the matcha. I definitely have woken up every day happy to have my cup. I haven't been, oh, I've got to have that cup of matcha for my YouTube video. I haven't done that at all. I've definitely been okay with drinking it daily. So I think it could get there. So on that alone, I give it a solid 4 stars. And finally, we have ease to purchase. This one I can grab at my local grocery store just off the shelf, or of course order it online. So of course I have to give it 5 stars. It really couldn't get any easier to purchase this product. And overall, this gives my nice warm cup of matcha an overall rating of 3.5 stars. Pretty solid start, I think. This week, I'm doing a turmeric latte. I'm scared of this. I'm not sure about this one. This pack actually does advise to make on a full cup of warm milk. I should have looked at that first because it's potentially going to be an issue for me. I definitely don't do great on complete full cups of dairy, so I may need to go and get myself some almond milk. I have made it on cow's milk today because that is all that I had here. So I'm yet to try it. The first thing I noticed straight away is that thin film of powder sitting on the top. Is that normal for a turmeric latte? That's probably something that I need to look at because I have no idea. It looks yummy. It smells yummy. It's definitely not this overpowering what I thought it was going to be. So let's get in to 5 days of turmeric lattes. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that's yummy. That's really yummy. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna enjoy this. I'll see you tomorrow. Once again, we're at day 5. It's absolutely flying by. Turmeric latte. So this is my last cup in the 5 days. This, as I've already said, gosh, what a pleasant surprise this was. I've got my trusty rating and reviewing. So let's have a look at what I've come up with. Flavour. Delicious. 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 I am so surprised. So surprised by this. 100% giving this a 5 stars for flavour. It is yummy. That all important dissolvability factor. It's very similar to the matcha powder, where it leaves a thin layer at the bottom, and in this one a thin layer at the top. I don't notice it. It's not grainy. You wouldn't know it's there. It's only when you get to the bottom of the cup. And I do think with the turmeric, it leaves less behind at the end of the drink. And so for that reason alone, I give it 3 stars for the dissolvability factor. Ease of use. It's very simple. However, the recommendations are that it is made on milk. And so for that factor alone, I give this 3 stars. And then that brings us to price. So I paid around $22 for about 100 grams, and that comes out at 20 servings. So the price point really isn't that much different to the matcha, slightly more expensive by a few cents. And so in terms of price, I give it a 3 stars. Emotion, the all-important emotive factor. Remember, this was one of the big driving forces for me, and wow. 4 stars. Ease of purchase. Again, I purchased this from my supermarket, so really it couldn't get any easier, and I give it a 5 stars. However, I actually have one slight concern if I was to start drinking this every day. And that is this going to stain my teeth? And is it going to be worse than coffee? I don't know. I did a really quick internet search and couldn't really find too much. Most of it said not really, especially if you're drinking it on milk like I am. I expect it would be at least the same as coffee. It looks like it would potentially be worse. If you've been a turmeric latte drinker, what's been your experience? I really want to know this, because that's my biggest concerning factor. If I start drinking this every single day, how much is it going to stain my teeth? Let me know. And so overall, the turmeric latte gets a nice hefty 3.8 stars. And so for ease of use, let's round that up to 4 stars. This, my friend, is a 4-star drink, and I can't believe it. If you haven't tried turmeric latte and you enjoy coffee, give it a try. You're going to love it. I'm sure that you're going to love it. This was nothing like what I was expecting. And if you haven't tried a turmeric latte, what have you been doing? You're truly missing out. Give it a try. And I'll see you soon for coffee alternative number 3. And just like that, it's week 3 of testing out coffee alternatives. And for week 3, I have chosen Ceremonial Cacao. Now, I did a little bit of reading up on this last night before obviously starting today. I gotta be honest, I'm not sure I've made the right decision in purchasing a bag of this. It seems that the majority of people don't just drink this on its own, that they add other bits and pieces to their ceremonial cacao. That's not what I'm looking for. I understand the whole ceremony behind it. I just want my fix in the morning that gives me all the feels and tastes yummy and isn't too bad for me either. However, even just looking at the back of the packet, this is really touted as, you know, such a really healthy way to have a morning drink. It's packed with vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, powerful bioactive compounds to become your new favorite mood-boosting, mind-clearing, energizing morning drink. Saying a lot there, isn't it? So it's a healthy coffee alternative, has high vibes without the crash, enhanced focus and performance, unlock your creativity, feel good food, and heart opening. All with this little bag. And I actually also took a long time to figure out where to purchase this from, because it was a little bit of an investment to actually buy ceremonial cacao, and we will talk about that later. This particular packet has a little QR code on the back, which sends you directly to their YouTube channel, showing you how they recommend to prepare the ceremonial cacao. Now that is a video that has way more ingredients than just this and warm water or milk of some description. For the purposes of today, I am going to try this out with some warm almond milk. I know I need to be careful to not heat it too much, and we'll see how we go. I'm concerned about the bitterness and that I may probably need to add a sweetener, but let's test it out, shall we? Let's have the first smell. It actually smells quite good. You've definitely got that little hint of, you know, chocolatey bitterness. I don't know, can you see that? I wish we had smell-o-vision, but we don't. Anyway, let's get this going and test it out for day one of Ceremonial Cacao. So it hasn't dissolved fully. Is that normal? I don't know. I'm completely uneducated, especially when it comes to ceremonial cacao. I have done, you know, as I said, a little bit of reading, but not much. One of the points that I did see was the recommended dose would be 2 scoops, but a lot of people have said just start with 1 because you need to find your level, and for some people it will be way too bitter. So yeah, we've already got quite a bit on the bottom that hasn't fully dissolved. I'm not sure. Again, is this something I need to heat on the stove slowly, making sure that it all fully dissolves? If that's the case, this is definitely not going to be the one for me, but let's give this a go. It just tastes like unsweetened hot chocolate. But very subtle because I only used the 1 scoop, so I can see that you'd very quickly build up to 2 scoops. I actually don't find it bitter at all, possibly because I've only got 1 scoop and I've made it on almond milk, not water. It's very mild, it's quite delicious. Definitely quite a lot left behind that hasn't dissolved. I'll probably need to do a little bit more looking into that, but I'm happy to sit here and drink that this morning. Okay, we're at cup number 5 for our ceremonial cacao. Time for a check-in on this one. Well, this is cup number 5. You can have a look there. I used more today. One of the recommendations which I mentioned is to start with just 1 scoop. So today I used a heat scoop and I let it sit. I boiled my water to 70 degrees today, whereas the last couple of days I've only done it to 60. I let it sit a lot longer in that hot water, stirring. I also used hot almond milk and still it just doesn't dissolve. Is this user error? I don't know. Am I definitely supposed to be simmering it slowly on the stove top for, you know, several minutes? If that's the case, this is not for me. So whilst it's still quite chunky, as you can see, it's not that bad because it's not powdery. You can tell that it's just simply chocolate that hasn't been melted, or cacao that hasn't been melted. So it's okay. Of course, adding more This morning, the bitterness has increased, but because I've been drinking it all week, you know, I'm used to it. All right, so flavour. I find it quite nice. It's just unsweetened chocolate at the end of the day. It's definitely not as bitter as I expected, but then I did ease into drinking the cacao. So for flavour, 3 stars. Dissolvability. We just discussed this. May be user error, but 5 cups and I still couldn't figure this out after reading and watching videos. And 2 stars. I'm just reading again my notes off my phone. Okay, ease of use. Again, this may be my user error and I'm open to admitting that 100%. But 5 mugs of ceremonial cacao and I couldn't perfect this. I give it 1 star for ease of use. Price, so far it is the most expensive of all the drinks I've tested. This one comes out at $2.12 per serve. So based on that alone, 2 stars. Did it give me all the feels, emotions? Look, I think I just felt frustrated with this. I can't get it right. And that frustration has made this a negative experience. So for that, 2 stars. So, and ease of purchase. So I can only purchase this online. Of course, that's not hard, but it is only one option. I have to use the online option. And so for that, 3 stars, which comes out at an overall of 2.1 stars. Things aren't looking good for ceremonial cacao to become my new daily drink. We have one more drink to test out and I'm excited to see how this one goes. Well, here we are, the last coffee alternative taste test. This is the one that I'm actually most excited about because this is the one, not coffee, that actually 100% is trying to lure you in as a coffee alternative. This one's also Australian made. So let's talk about it for a minute. Packaging's really tiny and I'll talk about that later. So I did have to photocopy the back of it so that I could read it. So Not Coffee Now is a coffee alternative that performs exactly like instant coffee. All you need is boiling water and your favourite milk. If that's true, then this is exactly what I'm looking for. Our blend of ingredients replicate a rich, bold coffee profile without the acidity or bitterness of coffee. Not Coffee doesn't have adverse effects on sleep, moods, cause jitters or create acidity in the body, unlike coffee, decaf or other alternatives that contain sugar, caffeine and stimulants. Not Coffee is full of antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and prebiotics that promote health and well-being so you can start and end your day balanced. Sure sounds like the perfect elixir to me. It gives you options to make a long or a short black, instant coffee style, or of course a latte or a cappuccino. You can adjust the strength, add more, add less, like any cup of instant coffee. So what are the ingredients? Actually really simple. They are roasted chicory and organic Australian roasted carob. That's it. 2 simple ingredients. So this one, I've hyped it up myself. I'm not sure how much hype it comes with in reality, but I've hyped this one up for myself because I have to be honest, I thought doing this there would be at least one product I chose that at that first sip I would have sprayed it out. That hasn't happened yet. Let's open this up and get first impression smell of Not Coffee Now. Every single one of them have used the exact same packaging. You see that in there? It actually just looks like instant coffee, doesn't it? It's very subtle. It doesn't smell like coffee. It doesn't smell like chocolate. But it certainly doesn't smell terrible, that's for sure. Okay, let's go and make ourselves a cup of Not Coffee Now. Have a look at this. It looks exactly like a cup of instant coffee. There's nothing that isn't dissolved underneath or on top. Okay, we're off to a good start. Now, I did use just a very level or slightly under a level teaspoon. I'm not someone that likes strong coffee. So I've gone first taste, just the minimum amount of product, mostly hot water, topped up with milk. I can't say that it has much of an aroma. I can actually smell more milk than I can the not coffee product. That's possibly because I've only used such a small amount in this. Time for the all-important first taste. It's hot. I probably should have let it cool down a little minute, and I might just do that.
A few moments later.
Okay, let's see if this has cooled down enough to taste it properly. This kind of really tastes like coffee. Okay, I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless. I need to add more in my next cup. It's too weak. And I partial to a little bit of sweetener. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm actually speechless, genuinely speechless. I was not expecting this. This is incredible. Wow, 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 wow. This, I don't know what to say. I think I just need to go and finish this cup and collect my thoughts and come back to you with the next cup. It's been sitting, as you know, it's fully dissolved. There's absolutely nothing powdery. It is just like a cup of coffee. Of course, it doesn't taste exactly like coffee. Of course not, it's not coffee. But yet, I'm trying to find the words. It's so close. It's so close. I'll see you tomorrow with my next cup of coffee. Actually, I lied. It'll probably be in half an hour after this one because I'm going to want another cup. You guessed it. I'm back. And it's only been about half an hour, 45 minutes. But yeah, I wanted to try a full teaspoon, a teaspoon and a half maybe, just to get that full experience. So let's see how we go. It's still very subtle. Yeah, the flavour's very, very subtle. It's not coffee, but it's so close to coffee. This is, I am so excited. I'm still speechless. I still don't know what to say because I feel like I might as well just end it here. I think I've found it. I can't remember what I paid for this. I need to look at all that. Like I said in my first cup, I am partial to just a little bit of sweetener in my coffee, but I am trying really hard to not have sweetener early in the day. So I might next time do an afternoon cup just so that I can try it with sweetener and see how it compares to what I would say would be my normal cup of coffee. But I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll see you for cup number 3 soon. You've all seen me make more than enough coffees over the last few weeks. So let's just get into the deets on not coffee now. Again, I've got my handy dandy little reference where I cover the exact same criteria for each coffee alternative that I've tried over the past 4 weeks. Okay, so the flavour of not coffee now. It's so close, it's not funny. Truly, I'm still in shock. This little packet of brown powder is actually still leaving me speechless every cup I have. I have to be honest. If I had to point one thing out, the flavour is really subtle. So if you like a really strong, robust flavour, you're probably going to go through quite a lot of this product because it is quite subtle in flavour. But for flavour, not coffee now, gets a nice hefty 4 stars. Does it dissolve? Does it dissolve? Oh my goodness, there's nothing left. There's been nothing, no powder whatsoever at the bottom of every cup I've had of this. Absolutely dissolves perfectly. 5 stars. And ease of use? Just like making a regular old instant coffee. Really, couldn't get any easier. 4 stars. We do have to put a bit of work in to make this thing, so of course we can't give it 5 stars. But what about price? Because I will be honest, it does play a factor for me. If things are over the top expensive, I'm not going to invest in them, no matter how great they taste. First up, these guys are going to get an extra star in this category because of this little packet. This is a 30-gram sample packet. How good is that? They actually let you purchase a sample. Nailed it. Absolutely nailed it with offering sample packs. 100% bonus star just for that alone. So the full size 220 gram bag has 44 servings. Wait for this. And it comes out at 89 cents per serve. Not only does this stuff taste great, not only does it fully dissolve in my cup, it is less than $1 per serve if you buy the largest size bag. I'm mind blown at every one of these criteria. 100% I am. Of course, 5 stars. Emotions. Did it? Well, did it? If you've watched all the way through, I think the very first sip I took of this product and the look on my face says it all. I actually cannot believe how close this is to coffee. It isn't coffee. It definitely is not coffee, but by gosh, it is so close. So for that emotional factor, I give it 4 stars. Now, that brings us to ease of purchase. It is an online only purchase, so there is that consideration. However, they also offer a subscription. If you love it that much, just set your subscription up. You save 10 to 15%, I think it was, if you set a subscription, and it will just come regularly. Amen. How amazing is that? We don't even have to think about it. So for ease of purchase, I give Not Coffee 4 stars. So to sum it up, we are sitting at 4.3 stars. Oh, so close to 4.5 stars. And I think we've found our coffee alternative. A genuine coffee alternative, and I couldn't be happier. Now, how about all the others that I tried? Surprisingly, They were actually all really lovely. And there's one or two that I will probably continue to keep here and drink from time to time. And I'm actually really glad that I dived in and took this challenge on for myself. So I encourage you, if you're looking for something, do it. Grab a few different varieties, test them out. You've got to give yourself more than one cup though. So do it over a series of days and test them out and see how you go. Thanks for seeing this one through with me. What are you doing about your coffee alternative? I want to hear about it. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.